whenever you are ready.
Captain's log, stardate 54489.2. We are approaching the Tagos system. The local government, the Tagosites, have formally invited the Federation to be guests at the Grand Assessment, which occurs once every 14 years. According to the records, this assessment will decide the next ruler of the Tagosites. As the Federation only became aware of the Tagosites 4 years ago, and contact with them has been minimal, Starfleet's Anthropology Division is excitedly looking forward to learning the details of this unknown succession of power.
There you go. That is sort of your setup for this episode. However, before we get into things, who has stuff they want to do? Because, this is how I always start things with you guys.
I believe we have a doctor who's deborging someone.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if I could meet with the captain about a patient of mine.
You want to meet with the captain?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be in, his ready room, or...?
I think the ready room works.
Okay. So, Captain, you are in your ready room when you get the little, hang on, I might even have it. Hang on. Oh, that's not quite it, but whatever. Get the little door chime.
Enter.
Teresa walks in. Captain, I just want to discuss with you about our new patient, the Borg drone.
Please sit down, Doctor.
Thank you. I believe the most ethical thing to do would be to remove them from the collective and restore their humanity. However, I know that would be a risky procedure, both to them and for the security of the ship. So I'm asking your permission before I do so.
What are the chances that you succeed, Doctor?
This procedure has, to my knowledge, been done twice before. Both times were successful.
Actually, I wanted to correct on something. Which 2 times are you referring to?
I was thinking Picard and 7 of 9.
So something else that would have popped up in your research, Doctor, and this is my mistake for not really knowing about it in advance. There is another instance. Dr. Blackwell, while on the expedition, successfully de-assimilated someone. Quite recently, actually.
There was also the kids.
Huh?
There was also Echeb and the kids.
So it's happened a few times, but it's not easy, and it takes time.
Well, it's happened several times, sir, but it's still quite a risk. It's hard to give percentages when we're talking about 5 or 6 different attempts. But I think it would be more ethical to perform the surgery, to perform the risky surgery than to just leave them in their current state, in what is basically a vegetative state for the rest of their life.
Well, you have my permission to do it. However, I do want you under constant supervision while you're operating. That means I want the chief or some other security guard in there with you, watching over you at all times. The last thing I want is for you to get your neck snapped by a Borg.
Trust me, sir, the last thing I want is to be assimilated by the Borg.
Oh no, he won't assimilate you, you'll just snap your neck. But we don't want that to happen.
Right, of course. That's a fair precaution, sir. Thank you.
And Doctor, if at any point you start to see something go wrong, press the kill switch. No ifs, no buts.
Okay.
Well, good. You're dismissed. Get to work then.
Yes, sir. So, what would be the first step in working on this?
Hang on a second. Since we're talking about all the Borg stuff, I do want to do just one quick thing with the captain before we cut over to you.
No problem.
Given how we're kind of in this scene.
Yeah, no problem.
So Dr. Maselli walks out the door, and funny enough, Captain, you were just reading over the report of this. The good news is the Starfleet Command has essentially taken custody of the Borg drone, the Borg probe. What's gonna happen with it now is above your pay grade, but they figured they would at least do you the courtesy of knowing that the situation is in hand.
Considering I did send a message out to all channels saying, "Yo, we found the Borg."
Yes, exactly. It's yeah, they're doing you the courtesy of letting you know the situation is under control. We have ships. Ships are now there. We have custody of the probe. We can't tell you what's going to happen to it next because security. But,
right. Okay, but tell me this, right? Is this public knowledge? Does the entirety of the Federation and the galaxy know about this, or is it a strictly need-to-know basis?
Currently, they're trying to keep something of a lid on it until they know all the details. They figure at some point in the near future, maybe the next few weeks, they'll make an announcement that a Borg probe was found. But the situation is entirely under control, which again it is.
Sure, it's like they'll just want another Wolf 359, like nothing happened, right?
Well,
Yeah,
it's very different. This is not like Wolf 359.
It's gonna be Wolf 359 soon.
Wolf 359 was so bad because the Federation had like military tactics then.
Yeah, the Wolf 359 was so bad because the Federation wasn't prepared.
Because
Now we've
you,
got
that's
like
why.
Defiance mass produced. I think we'll live.
Yeah. But so, basically, you've got notification that the probe is secured. They're not telling you where it's going, what's going to be done with it, but as far as you need to know, you've done well. Like, thank you for what you've done. We'll take it from here.
Right, yeah. Generally, I take a promotion when I do this well, but you know, I'll let it slide this time, Starfleet Command.
So anyhow, now we will cut down to sick bay. Just wanted to get that little piece of housekeeping out of the way. That was my way of essentially telling you now it is the Artemis's problem. Where's sick bay? Come on, I had sick bay. Oh, it's back here. Right.
And did the chief security officer get any credit for capturing said drone alive?
Oh yeah, no. The fact that generally everyone involved in that operation has received praise for their work.
Very good.
So now we are in sickbay, and I supposing, Doc, you are ready to start in?
Yes. I was just going to ask you what would be the first step here.
Okay, so I'm actually borrowing from, thanking Ed for this now. He gave me the extended task that Blackwell used when he did it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So, the way this is going to work is you are you are going to make one roll per episode.
All right.
To remove the in this case it says remove the implants. In this case, the way I'm running it is you're essentially doing the Borg equivalent of dialysis.
I see, to remove the nanoprobes.
Yeah, slowly filtering out all the nanoprobes from his system.
Hold on. Can we save those nanoprobes that are filtered out? Like, that would be
Nanomachines,
so...
Captain.
I was gonna say nanomachines, son.
Bro.
I mean, I guess we could keep them, but I don't know how much we could do
actually,
with them.
before we start in on that, however, Doctor, you do come down to sick bay, and the nurse comes up to you and says, Doctor, there is a notification for you on your terminal from Starfleet Medical.
Oh.
All right, I'll take it in my office then.
Okay, you pull up the terminal, and this is something that presumably you had sent out beforehand. Like, you knew you were going to have to ask the captain permission, but you sent this out way in advance because you knew this would take some time to get some confirmation on. The drone has been in your sick bay for a couple weeks now. You've been doing background research and filing the necessary paperwork, and you've gotten a reply back. Starfleet Medical has given you the go-ahead to attempt de-assimilation. This is a procedure that has not been done many times, and it's, as they've said, it is a risky procedure, but they'd rather the person who has had the most experience with this particular individual to perform it, under the circumstances, given your distance from more advanced Federation technology, your overall track record, and the Hadfield's advanced facilities. They figure that might as well give you the go-ahead.
All right.
So you're cleared.
Cool. I assume the drone is only in the room because that's a leftover from the last episode, and he's being kept in why am I blanking on the term?
Brig.
Brig, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I will ping Security Chief Juesa then.
Juesa here.
Chief, I have just received clearance to begin de-assimilation on our drone friend. So, however, the captain has requested that a security officer be with the drone at all times. So, would you or a security officer like to come down to sickbay?
Well, I'm not doing anything else, so I will come down myself.
All right.
And supervise.
Do we need a roll to move the drone to sickbay?
Jueza, you have the... Hang on. You have the security team advantage, right?
I did last time.
Yep, so that's fine. So, yeah, I'll, if you burn that, I'll say, yeah, you're fine. You could just bring him down. Escorted by a security team.
All right.
Hang on a second. Okay, I'll bring in Jueza, and I'm currently throwing together a slightly more accurate image of what I think this guy would look like. But while you're getting all this together, and while you're deciding how you're gonna try attempting this role, because there's a lot to it, Well, not a lot to it, but it's stuff to consider. This is going to be an extended task, extended medical or engineering task.
Mhm.
It is difficulty 5. Control and medicine or engineering. Work track of 30, magnitude 6, resistance 3.
Okay. Wow.
Can she get assists?
I will allow a single assist. I'm sorry, it should be a control. I should have clarified control, medical, engineering task.
Do you mean a single assist period or a single assist per roll?
A single assist period.
Ah.
Okay.
So, hang on. Here is how this is gonna work. There you go. So you get one stab at this per episode.
Okay. So, what's the roll I have to beat right now?
The roll you have to beat is control, medicine, or engineering, difficulty of 5.
Right. Okay.
And I will allow the ship's computer's medicine to assist. I should have clarified that.
Let me just check something.
Yeah, this is one of those I suggest looking over all the stuff you've got, because there are some things you can do. What's the sitch?
My food's on the way.
All right, I'm just thinking here. Sorry.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah, if you'd like, I can assist you here.
Yeah, I think that would be for the best. So, Jacoby just rolled for the ship, and that's a 1.
Yep, that is 1. I will make a. Don't forget, there are other things you've got that can help you here.
Yep, like, what's the name of your thing? Is it just medical bay? Medical facilities?
Advanced sick bay? Yeah, could I use advanced sick bay? To get me an extra die or something?
Yeah, you could use that to lower the difficulty.
That works.
That's
So
good.
now it's only difficulty 4.
All right. I will tap my communicator. Or vacancy. Lieutenant Commander Valak, if you're not too busy, I could really use your expertise in mechanics right now.
Very well. I'll be right there.
All right, so he can assist with control medicine. Control engineering.
Definitely engineering, and I do have a cybernetics focus.
You have I'm sorry, what were the focuses you said you had?
I have a cybernetics focus.
Yeah, that'll absolutely do it.
Because this is a new procedure, would you allow the value always a new thing to discover?
I don't think so.
All right, fair enough.
Because it's not like you're discovering anything.
You're right. And I think I will give you one threat to
Ooh,
give me a third die.
So
That's-
all 6 of you are here, so that means I'm at now 13 threat.
Okay, pretty good odds here. Hey, I did it.
Ah. Oh yes, but it was only difficulty 4. So
Yes, because
Yep.
the advanced sick bay.
so yeah, roll yourself 5 plus 2 challenge dice. I think that's only 1 work.
I think that's right.
Yep, that is only 1 work. So I will copy this. Miss Ellie, would you be able, if I send it to you, would you be good keeping track of your progress?
Yeah, absolutely.
Current work done 1. Current breakthroughs 0.
Thank you.
There you go. That way you have that for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that your name in...
Oh yeah, that was part of the
Her name in private messages is "There are 4 lights."
Mm-hmm. Because
There are 5 lights. What are you talking about?
So,
I have a t-shirt, and it's Picard playing poker with like Darth Vader, and it says, "There are 4 aces."
Nice.
I have there's a T-shirt that I want to get that shows Picard rocking out, and on the it's like it's fashioned after like a band tour T-shirt, and it's Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra tour.
Nice.
Yeah.
oh, that's great. Oh my god, I would wear that.
Yeah. It lists off like all the tour locations,
Hmm.
and they're all like various Trek planets. Okay, so yeah, you work through the next few hours, and it's as good as it's gonna get for now. As all the paperwork you've been reading has demonstrated to you. What's the sitch?
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting my mic's on.
As all of your research has told you, and as I don't want to say has warned you, but you shouldn't be discouraged by the fact that this is going to be a long, slow process.
Mhm.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, totally.
So you don't get much work done. It barely feels like you're making a dent, but it is something.
All right. That's all we can do for today. Raki, continue to monitor his condition, and alert me if anything else changes. 24 hours from now, or at a later period, we will continue with further procedures.
Yes, Doctor. And I assume, Jueza, you're going to, with the help of the nurse, because it's kind of a sort of a little bit of a process to get a patient from being out of the bed to being in a transferred back to containment. transfer.
Yeah. I assume he can't just be beamed over.
Yeah, no. This is especially when you're dealing with something like gotta move someone from especially after a medical procedure.
Yeah.
Because if anything goes wrong.
I wonder
So,
what would happen if you pulled a Tuvix on a Borg drone and someone who wasn't in the collective. It just, sorry, talking about this just made me think about it.
What is Tuvix? I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a
no, I
Voyager
know
fun.
what it is. I'm just doing the whole. What
I'm
is
just
that? I've never heard of that. That's not a thing.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just thinking like, it just make a new Borg drone. Like that Borg nanoprobes are a problem.
Nanomachine nanoprobe, son.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else anyone wants to do before we get into the episode proper?
I was actually curious if I could mod the comm panel to better interface with my cyber.
Okay.
To like give an extra dice for maneuvers.
Okay. So you'd want it to be. So you'd want it something that can better so that the ship's computer can better interface with you. Like, let me just think about how I want to do this.
Like, you know how in DS9 how they got those ports on the back of their neck and how they just put it up to like a terminal? I want something a little more like designed to be interfaced with, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, no. Like it has a you have it set so that it's a so that your Starfleet terminals are set so that they can interface with something. It sounds like what your idea is to come up with a strict hardware upgrade that will allow this specific terminal to hook up with your specific your specific implant.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. I'll have to think about exactly how I want the talent to be because I don't want it to be too overpowered. Okay. Give me a sec while I quickly put my hands on the rules of Zen and the art of warp core maintenance because this is going to be a thing. Because we're starting over a brand new development task.
Oh my.
Yeah.
You know, the Hadfield may be the Ferengi episodes of the fleet, but we got the most advanced ship.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's so tiny, we just have to keep modding it. It's just like pimping our ride.
Oh my
the Hadfield is a PC.
Yeah. Quickly gonna re-download the core rulebook.
Yeah, we're just gonna end up with like this obsolete, like light years ahead of everyone else's ship, and then we just use it for fucking poking things with a space stick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's... Oh, you found it, Rugan.
Oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, that's the shirt.
What shirt? What?
Look at the Hadfield chat.
Yep.
Oh.
The Beast at Tanagra. It's like one of my favorite episodes.
The best part is the extent to which I can absolutely see our own society moving in that direction in some ways, like mimetic culture. The extent to which memes are just, you can have a conversation in memes.
69.
Oh,
Nice.
absolutely.
You just need to know what they
absolutely.
mean.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like a chain of Reddit comments that's just memes and you can understand what they all mean?
Yeah,
That's
like,
basically what their entire culture is.
Exactly, it's going hieroglyphic.
That's funny. I had like that epiphany a year or two ago where my friends and I were just talking in straight memes. I'm like, wait, I've seen this episode before. Like, holy crap.
This was a Star Trek episode.
I also feel like the universal translator is like something that doesn't really make any sense and is like one of the most like fictitious elements of the show. And that's probably the most accurate depiction of how a first contact with aliens would go, because you wouldn't have any idea what each other is saying for a long time.
Oh yeah, you actually have to like study the language to actually get it. It's funny because we have universal translators now, but it's like you had to.
You have to know the language.
Well,
in
it's
order to
real-time
process it.
translating is what it is.
Yeah,
That's
one
all
of the,
we have
it's
is
one of the
real-time
it's one of the
translation.
concepts I really like in Enterprise, where like they had to have a translator, like they had to have a person whose job it was to figure out the alien languages.
And then they put like what they learned in a computer, and then eventually the computer would handle the translating. But it was like they actually had to have the person do it first.
Like
Yeah.
I like that idea. Anyhow, oh, here it is. Okay, good news. Okay, so sensors and computing technology is I think it's one of the less complicated things to work out. An engineer wants to improve. Yeah. Okay, so you will be the research lead on this, and you will choose 3 separate focuses to use as possible directions for this. So, I need you to give me 3 focuses that you might use on this task.
Okay. Let me open my dude. Focuses for this task include cybernetics.
Okay.
Let's see. You think combat maneuvers would work?
And I don't think they all have. I don't think the focuses all have to be focuses that you have.
Oh, I don't. I only know the focuses that I have.
If anyone wants to give him some suggestions.
So you're improving communications. I think communications systems is the focus.
Yeah, like interface technology or subspace communications or something like that.
Subspace, yeah, that's another good setup.
Well, you're not improving your communications. You're improving the computer console.
Well, isn't he trying to
okay.
improve the communications between his cybernetics and the computers?
Ah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna like shove a subspace
Subspace box in there.
then
Wait,
put
I
it
was
in my
just-
brain. I can communicate faster than light.
Oh, yeah.
I was just trying to give ideas.
No, that's fine.
I know. You just imagine me just sitting there. What's going on?
Well,
Zone
then,
in.
straight-
I'm thinking
Straight up
faster than
computers
light.
focus might help. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to
computers
think,
would work.
And I need a third one.
So an engineering thing, or I don't know, medicine.
I think that falls
Well,
under
your
cybernetics.
choice with cybernetics is already gonna kind of cover that type of stuff.
Cybernetics, computers, I don't know, astronavigation, combat maneuvers. Yeah.
No, those won't work with that.
Do you have your 3?
So, I mean, would astronavigation work?
I'm not going to tell you that, because once you have your 3, you need to
Yeah,
tell
that's
me
the point,
which one
yeah.
you're going to try using.
Oh, I'm going to try using cybernetics.
Okay. So the way this works is there is a right answer, there's an off-the-wall answer, and there's a wrong answer. So you said cybernetics, computers, and what?
Let's go with astronavigation.
Okay, but you said you're going with cybernetics.
Cybernetics is the main one.
Okay. Okay. All right. That is one of them. Like, I'm not going to tell you whether that was the right answer or the off-the-wall answer. I need you to make me a...
I'll give you all the rolls you want.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what I gotta do here. This is gonna be another extended task, because of course it is. This is going to be control, engineering, and I'm gonna say this technically isn't, this technically is not, what's the word? This is technically not propulsion systems. This is you doing computer stuff. Control engineering, work track of 9, magnitude.
Do I have a momentum that I can use to get an extra dice?
Nope.
No,
We have
that's sad.
who's keeping track? Valak, keep track.
Magnitude 3, difficulty of 2.
He does not have any momentum. You've not made any
this
momentum.
resistance, and in this particular case, I'm gonna spend. I have to do it every time, mind you. But I'm gonna spend 2 threat to, in this instance, give the task 2 resistance. Temp resistance 2.
Control engineering, work track 9, magnitude 3, difficulty 2. Let's roll a dice, see what happens.
Hot damn.
Did I win?
You generated a momentum. Roll 4 challenge dice. Hot damn. You only get 2 work done unless you want to spend that momentum to get 4 work done.
Yes.
Okay. 4 work has been done. So I'll quickly copy this. I will essentially do what I just did to Doc Maselli and send it to you so that you can keep good track of how much stuff you have done. This time you have done 4 work, however.
Oh my.
So you've gotten a good start. What I think I actually might have this do is, given that it sounds like you want to strengthen your connection, improve your connection, I might actually have this improve what happens when the ship takes a breach to computers, because if you're connected and the ship takes a breach to computers, you take damage, I think, and so this will probably improve that.
All right.
So that it's not as bad.
All right, I can dig it.
So I will let you know you are on the right track. You did select a good focus. I'm not going to tell you whether or not it was correct or off the wall, though. Because they have different results. An off the wall response might mean that it has some quirk to it. like if you were to do something with the warp field, with I think when you did the warp core, I think you might have picked the off the wall answer, which is why the design you came up with is so complicated and has such a weird rule set behind it. Because you picked the off the wall answer. So the design has some quirks.
Huh.
Okay, so that's that for this episode. We'll get back to this again later. Does anyone else have anything they want to do before we start in? Anyone else want to start any long-term projects that are gonna make me have agita? Please, speak now.
No, think I'm good. I already assisted, so.
Okay. Then I guess we are ready. So, you guys are currently entering, the, what did I call it? The, Tagos system. And again, so that you guys know what your mission is, I assume. I assume the captain has briefed you all.
Yes, I have.
What is it again?
We are to attend a grand assembly where a new leader of a race we have only recently met will be elected.
Yep. You fancy? Let's go break their democracy. Come on.
Yeah, this seems like an episode where the Prime Directive is going to get pushed away.
The Prime what now?
I'm sorry. There's a Prime Directive. That's a thing. What?
Since hi, Captain Janeway. I didn't know you were on here. Could I look up and see who the candidates are in this election, or like, how it's decided, or like anything like that?
Sure. You can look up in the computers.
Mhm.
Give me a reason, science, or command. Difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's computers, science, or command.
Difficulty 2. With a focus of research applied.
Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely what you are doing here.
Awesome. Great.
I will totally take that.
3. All right, so I generated momentum, and the ship should roll. What should the ship roll?
Computer science or computer's command, whichever's
Coming
better.
up. Vlog, keep track of momentum. We got 2.
Yeah, we should be up to 3 now, unless we spent 1.
Okay, so now
So
we
what do I
got 2.
discover?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that to you in a second.
Trial by combat.
You were specifically asking about the ceremony, right?
Yes.
Hang on, I do have one thing. I do have one thing for you, though. I did remember one thing I can give you right now. There we go.
Okay. So, in my research, I've discovered that it involves a council of 10 publicly elected officials choosing the next leader among a publicly chosen pool of candidates. Okay.
Did you paste that?
Excuse me?
Could you paste it?
Oh, sure.
Excellent.
If I spent a momentum, would I be able to find out who the front runners are in this current election?
Hold on. I'm just trying to see if you have a talent that helps you. You do have the studious talent, I think. So if you spend a momentum, I
Yes.
think you get 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, sure.
All right. I will spend 1 momentum, and then I will ask. First question will be who are the front runner candidates?
There you go.
Hello. Sorry, had to pause for a second. There does not appear to be any single front runner.
Interesting.
Okay. Any ideas for a second question?
Yeah. Could we get any documentation available on the candidate, on all the candidates? Like a dossier, maybe, you know? Biography?
Okay. Yes, I'll say that you are able to get your hands on a dossier of. There are 5 candidates. There are the 10 elected officials that will be choosing from these candidates, but there are 5 candidates. Each seem to be. Each seem to have their own platform. I want to say the interesting thing about it all in your research, Maselli, is that there's a ton of stuff about how they got elected into this pool. Like, they had to do campaigning and they had to win public approval for to be put into this pool. But there's like next to nothing about this this election, like this, or not election, but there seems to be nothing about this process by which that pool will be narrowed down.
Interesting. Other than these 10 people choose them?
Yeah.
All right. Okay then.
And I'm gonna send someone else a message. I'm gonna send it to you.
Captain, we're now arriving in orbit of Tago 7.
On screen.
Boop.
Hang on, let me pull up the view screen and see if I actually Oh, hang on. That's a leftover from an old episode.
We are not seeing anything, so.
No. I know. I'm trying to get rid of something.
Oh no, it's the triple Borg again.
No.
Not again. The juggle noises.
Oh my god.
That threw me off so bad. I'm like, why is it peaceful in the Borg cube? What's going on?
No. It's nothing like
Captain, we
that.
appear to be undergoing stress-induced hallucinations.
Oh my gosh.
No, you all stop that.
Hey, seagulls, stop that now.
I just gotta pull up this. On screen, you said?
Yes, and I went boop. That's a nice looking planet, not gonna lie.
And I'm gonna send something to someone. There you go.
Sir, I'm picking up 5. How do you say that? Tech.
5 what now, Chief?
Tagocyte, which is the species from this system.
Tagocyte frigates on sensors, as well as 2 scout craft in standard orbit.
Well, note that they are not Tagocyte, however.
Yeah, not their Tauran. Tauran?
Talarian.
Talarian.
Talarian, right.
Uh-huh.
Chief, can you open up a channel to flight control?
Sure. Flight control, come in.
All right. And I don't think they are. This isn't a transparent image. Hang on. No.
Oh god, the planet disappeared.
No, I know. I'm
What'd you
working
do
on
with it, Chief? Where'd you put it?
Space is gone. The
Gotta
universe
be
is
cute.
collapsing on us.
You!
You people sometimes.
There's a head.
It's
Oh,
like
God.
when
No, it's
Picard
God.
was stabbed in the heart.
Hang on.
Oh God!
These are the. This is Tagocyte flight control. How may I be of assistance?
This is Captain Jacoby on the USS Hadfield, representing the Starfleet Federation of Planets. We are here to attend your grand assembly. Please give us instructions on where to dock and where to transport.
Yes, of course. You have permission to assume standard orbit. Then you and your contingent are welcome down to transport down to the planet at the following coordinates. And she presses a few more buttons, and Joeza, on your terminal, you have received some transporter coordinates.
Beep boop.
I've got the coordinates, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Flight Control. Captain Jacoby out. Right, everybody get your nice uniforms on. We're going down.
So, who else did you say was in the system?
Everyone. We're all going down.
Talarians.
Oh, Talarians, yeah, Talarians.
Captain, should we be concerned about Talarian presence in the system?
Absolutely not. Okay, computer, what's our diplomatic status with the Talarians?
Currently, actually, no. Give me a reason command, difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's computers command.
Well, goddamn, I'm asking the computer.
Yeah, that's why.
Get us some momentum. You can do it.
Focus in diplomacy.
I'll
Work.
allow it because
Yes.
you're specifically asking about diplomatic standing.
And the computer, you said, has to roll computer's command.
Yep. Currently, you don't even really have to ask the computer. This is something you recall. And I'll pull us over to the fleet map so I can demonstrate. Hang on. I know that's the Kismet's transporter room. I know.
Who dat?
I'm not on my good computer that lets me. I'm not on my good thing that lets me do nice moving around of stuff. You guys are currently right here. Not there. Here. The Talarian Republic is just north of you. For the past few decades, relations have been decent enough, non-hostile. There was a flare-up. I think it was, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. An incident involving Captain Jean-Luc Picard and the Enterprise. On which they found that the Talarians had recovered a young man during a war with them. Back, I think, 80-something years ago, there was a war with the Talarians. The Talarians lost, I believe. But they, during one of the... No, it wasn't 80 years ago. It was like 40 years ago. There was a skirmish, and a young baby was taken and raised in Talarian society. And that boy ended up being the grandson of an admiral, and it devolved into this huge diplomatic stink.
I see. So our current diplomatic standing with the Talarian Republic could be better.
Yeah, could be better, but I mean, we're not openly hostile.
Right. Well,
yeah,
no,
but I
Doctor,
mean,
then we are not concerned because,
Yeah.
well, we come here in peace, at
Yeah,
least. I hope
borders
we
are
come here in
open.
peace.
Okay,
Borders
that's-
are open, so yeah, there you go.
That's my bad. I think I was mixing them up with the Tholians, which we are hostile with.
Oh, the
Yes.
Tholians,
yeah.
the Tholians are big. It's hard to mix those two up, so the Tholians are big bugs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I'm sorry. It's just they have similar names.
Oh, and the Tholians. Well,
Okay.
Jacoby, you specifically remember getting that word from the Admiral, Admiral Pera, I think it was, that the Tholians had pulled ambassadors.
As if they had ambassadors in the first place.
Oh, they did.
They're incredibly xenophobic.
Oh, yes.
They hate everyone but them.
Like they had ambassadors. Like they had an ambassador on DS9.
A bug on DS9.
Don't you remember that
Okay.
when Martok threw a Klingon off the side of the railing and missed the Tholian ambassador?
Anyhow, so
Yeah, let's get back on track.
yep. So, well, no, that's fine. I sort of wanted to reestablish who the Talarians were because they were kind of they're one of those Star Trek races that was in one episode and then never showed up again.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird episode too.
It's one of those. Yeah, so that's essentially the long and short of it. You guys are pretty nearby to Talarian space, so it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that this species maintains diplomatic relations with the Republic.
No, it makes sense. I assume we should just go in then.
First, I would like to see Commander Valak in my ready room.
Oh, okay.
All right. And, Valak, you follow the captain into his ready room.
Sir,
All right, please have a seat, Commander.
I will walk on over to the seat.
Now, so as you know, today will hopefully mostly be a diplomatic mission, and I have a feeling you are in need of some training. Therefore, today you will take the lead on all diplomatic initiations. You will be representing the USS Hadfield with me as your second. I will only jump in if something is looking to be incredibly screwed up. Are you okay with that, Commander?
Are you sure this is the best decision, sir?
Even a Vulcan needs training, Commander, and I think now is the high time to do it.
Very well, sir.
Like I said, I will be with you all the time, and I will jump in if and when necessary. Just try and see how you do on your own this time.
Very well, sir.
Good, that'll be all. Dismissed. Let's go.
Do. And then you are both back on the bridge. So who's going down?
All of us.
Okay, that is a lot
What?
of you.
Wow.
I'm
okay.
staying.
Who's staying?
Who wants to stay?
I will stay.
You will stay. That's fine.
Oh, that's
You're
fine.
Lieutenant
I see
Zone.
happening.
You're in charge. You're in charge.
Woo!
The bridge is yours.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah. Acting captain's log, stardate.
Oh no.
Wow, we're just totally gonna mess this up. Let's leave Tev in charge of the ship. Leave me in charge of diplomacy. We'll do great.
Do not worry. I have planted
Possibly.
several bricks of C4 on key locations in my ship. On my command, it will blow up.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh, civil breaks.
I don't think that's necessary. I've seen a Star Trek show before, and I know they fill every single computer console with explosives normally.
As you all step into the turbo lift.
The captain has abandoned the ship, and I am now in control.
Although you all have to like go back to your respective quarters and get into your dress uniforms. Because that is something I would actually probably note. For you, Valak, as acting XO of the Hadfield, I think you probably have a separate Command Red's uniform, dress uniform.
Yeah, probably.
Can we make it like orange or something like that?
It's Command's Red.
Well, it would be. I would imagine it would be something like red mixed with yellow. So yellow for engineering.
I
So
know.
orange.
I know. It's a red command uniform, but it has like these little yellow epaulets at the shoulders,
There you go.
Alright.
denoting him as command, but command specifically aligned with Starfleet engineering. Whereas yours is just red whole way through. So you guys are all gonna head down to the transporter room.
Except
Yeah.
Lieutenant Zoran, who's got the bridge. If
Yes.
anyone else wants to stay back, now is the chance.
Oh, all of you outrank me.
No, technically,
No,
you
you
outrank Kiji. Yeah, he's not. He's enlisted. He's not.
Just
Then-
keep moving.
Well, yeah, but he's got big balls, so.
Oh my god.
The biggest. You might want to get that checked out.
I already did. They don't glow anymore.
Okay. Moving on from that, someone's gonna need to make a transporter's check. This will be control engineering. Difficulties 2 because you're not beaming to a pad, but you are on a pad.
Okay, I'm activating BIS.
No. We don't have to. I literally have a transporter replicator focus. I'll just do it myself.
And
Let's
I totally
leave
forgot
the
about
phone.
I totally forgot about this, and I was only recently reminded of it by looking at the sheets. But I didn't realize that when you do a transporter's check from the transporter room, you actually get a bonus.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Because you can do transporter checks from the bridge. You just don't get the bonus that you would normally get if you did it from the transporter room.
What is the bonus?
Yeah, it's what I'm... transporter rooms. A character in a transporter room can use the transporter's task, but reduces the difficulty of that task by 1. Further direct access to... okay, that's a separate thing.
Okay, so just reduced by 1, basically. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, the fact that you're doing this task from the transporter's room means the difficulty goes down by 1. So it's actually only it's difficulty 2 brought down to difficulty 1, brought down to difficulty 0, I think, by the ship.
Nice.
So control engineering assisted by the ship's sensors engineering. Roll them bones.
Three. Not bad.
Yep. You gain 3 momentum. As currently we're gonna have to theater of the mind this. I don't have a particular thing set up for this.
Oh, that's fine.
Give me a sec while I throw us around to the theater of the mind thing. Come on. Oh, this is so bad. I hate having to do
we jumped
this.
to DS9.
Remember the Golden Arches episode?
Oh, just so crazy.
Where's the theater of the mind? It's here. Oh, that's why. Because there's a person there, and it just makes the thing his face for some reason. I'm gonna delete you. Do. Okay. As you all beam down into sort of this open plaza in front of what looks like a large government building. The thing immediately, however, is that a smell hits all of your noses. It's actually multiple smells that you can't quite place. They're not negative though. It's just there's this definite clashing of aromas in the air.
Variety of aromas.
I will pull out my tricorder and attempt to figure out what the origin of these smells is.
I will not use my tricorder, but I will use my nose.
Okay.
Yes, the good old Mark I nostril.
The Mark I nostril. Maselli, give me a reason science difficulty 1 check.
All right. I assume we can spend 2 of our 5 momentum.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will
Yep.
give you the momentum there.
Yep.
Let's get rid of that.
And Jacoby, give me an insight command difficulty 1 check.
Yes, this I like. Focus and hazard awareness.
No.
Got him.
momentum. As you both walk around scanning with you're scanning with the tricorder. You look up from it for a moment just as the results come in. Jacoby, you follow your nose, and you both realize what it is. Looking over a guardrail, there appears to be a large sort of marketplace down on a lower level, where you see that alien that was on the screen before, who, by your reckoning, was a Tagasite, all milling around. And there is food everywhere.
Well, did you really need your tricorder for that, Doctor?
She kind of like laughs and puts it away. I guess not. But do you think we would be able to go down there and sample some of that food?
Perhaps
There will
later.
be plenty of time to sample the food once the formalities are taken care of.
Well, yes, actually, crew, perhaps now might be a good time to tell you that for this diplomatic mission, Valak is in charge.
There was a voice coming from behind you, Captain.
Oh dear. I will shove Valak in front of me.
Hello there. I am Commander Valak of the USS Hadfield. This is Captain Jacoby, Dr. Maselli, and Chief Kichi and Lieutenant Ragan.
Ah, yes, I am Menk. I am to be your porter and steward while you are with us. We are very honored to have members of the Federation here with us today. We've only known you and your people for a short few years now, but I must say that the Council is quite fascinated and does wish to know more. However, we have a point of not making diplomatic overtures to races that have are not familiar with all of our customs, and as such, we had to wait until today to make some more serious diplomatic overtures.
I see. Well, where would you suggest we start here given these changes?
If you would simply follow me into the Grand Culinarium.
Very well.
And he motions for all of you to follow him.
All right, I think we'll do that.
So anything that, so Valak, are you gonna ask anything, or as you guys are all walking, is there anything that you're gonna do?
I am very excited to learn more about your culture, as I am something of a xenoanthropologist myself. Learning about alien cultures is always fascinating. I have to ask, sir. It was a bit difficult to find information about this election. Could you give us a brief overview over how it's going to work?
Yes. Well, I suppose I should, although I guess a lot of it boils down to who we are as a people. He says, walking you all along. What is it that you know of the Tagasite culture?
She smiles. Not much, that's why I would like to learn.
Of course. There's one thing that is considered truly central to Tagasite culture, and that is food.
Really? Okay.
As you can see, unlike many species in the region, like the Talarians or any emotions to all of you, Tagasites do not have a sense of, what is your word for it? Smell.
Really?
And yeah, you notice he doesn't have a nose.
Well, even they do that type of stuff all the time in sci-fi. But anyway, I find that quite interesting.
As such, our sense of taste evolved far stronger than is the average for other species. To compensate.
Quite interesting.
After all, it is important to know when something is poisonous.
Right, of course. So are chefs like highly viewed in your society?
Indeed. In fact, you could say that chefs are that those who prepare food are some of the most important pillars of our society. And that,
Okay.
he folds his hands together, is the crux of the Great Assessment.
Oh my God, this is a cooking competition?
This is a cooking competition for being president.
This is a cooking competition.
Fucker, I spit my soda out. Son of a bitch.
This is gonna be great.
This is going to be great. You see, like, yeah, Teresa develops like the most devilish grin. This is going to be most fascinating to learn about.
Well, keep the enthusiasm down, Doctor. We don't know what sort of cooking these people have. It might be something maybe unappetizing.
Well, if our local cuisine is not to your liking, I'm sure one of our many skilled chefs could prepare something from your world, even if our people do not find it to our liking.
But we will give it a try, nevertheless.
Of course. And with that, he leads you into another room. I have to quickly pull it in, set it up. Give me a sec. Gotta delete. Gotta quickly set this up for you. Background, delete that. That was great, though.
Oh my gosh.
We all just it's great.
Keyboard's just upside down right now.
Okay, gonna pull you guys over to this map now.
It's a cooking competition.
As they pull you into this council chamber, there are... Hang on. Gotta quickly populate these chairs. This is the map layer. Oh, hang on. These all need to be token layer. These all gotta go to the token layer. There we go. You all walk in and you see these, you see these 10 figures sitting in seats, and off to the right here, because I don't have any art for them, because, again, they only show up in that one episode, so there really isn't any proper art for them. There are 2 Talarians in this little side booth over here.
All right.
Alrighty.
Welcome to the council chambers.
So
Thank you.
So these 10 people will decide the are going to decide the next ruler of your people by tasting the food of chefs.
Yes, the pool of 5.
5 chefs.
Quite reminiscent of some ancient Earth structures like the Senate in Rome, or, well, the Senate in general. Where do the competitors prepare the meals?
They all have their own private chambers with whatever equipment they may require. You may think that may give one member an unfair advantage, but remember, this is politics.
Indeed.
And,
is there any form of restriction, perhaps a particular ingredient that must be used, or?
None. None. However, dietary restrictions are to be observed if, say, a certain council member is allergic to an ingredient, that ingredient cannot be used.
And
It
if I
does-
may ask,
It does sometimes impose a rather interesting limitation when multiple allergies are present at once.
Are any present for this election?
Yes. Councilman Farrong, he points to this fellow here, says, has a rather serious allergy to do-it wheat, but that's a rather known fact, and any chef worth their salt would know that.
and what
As a-
exactly do you wish the Federation's role to be in this? Are we to observe, or shall we taste with you?
You will have an opportunity after the selection is made to taste what is the word that you have? Leftovers.
The leftovers.
The leftovers that were not served to the council members. However, there is one additional role that you, and he motions over to the Talarians, will play in this. We ask
I see.
that the leader of your diplomatic team present one of the dishes to one of the judges.
I'm sorry, our diplomatic team will be presenting a dish to a judge,
Yes, you will
I
not
just
cook
kind of
the
look
dish.
over at the captain.
but we will be presenting it.
Yes, it is a minor diplomatic gesture, as again the presentation of food is a sign of respect.
I understand.
Well, you can consider it done. Why don't we go prepare? Which candidate have you already chosen a candidate for us to present?
Yes, however, you will not be allowed to know the name of the candidate in question. In order to keep the contest fair, the identity of the preparing chef must remain completely anonymous.
I see. So
Other-
we
oth-
are supposed to present a meal to you, not knowing what it's called and not knowing what the chef has actually prepared?
Oh, you will know what the dish is. You will not know who the chef is, as again, knowing who prepared the meal might influence the judge.
I see.
I
Are
see.
It would bring in external biases from the candidate's political views.
Are the Talarians also presenting a dish?
Yes.
Okay.
They have done this before, however.
Okay. Are you not concerned about sabotage? This seems like a very easy way for one to influence the leadership of a planet.
Things are very well monitored.
Okay.
The the eating of our cuisine is something that is considered most sacred in our society. It is something that every chef among us, including the council members, respects.
And the leader elected here, do they have unlimited power, or are they reined in by this body or another?
Yes, they are reined in by the governing body, but more or less they do dictate the direction of policy.
Okay.
There are, of course, checks and balances, but it would be no exaggeration to say that whoever is selected today will be the most powerful man on the planet.
That goes without saying, and we will do our best to fulfill our role in your assembly. When do we begin?
The event shall begin in half an hour.
Oh dear, you're not giving us a lot of time to prepare, but very well. How many dishes are there?
There are 5 dishes, one for each candidate. There are 5 dishes, one for each candidate. However, their instructions are to prepare enough to feed each of the council members. Obviously.
Obviously. And 5 of us shall present 5 dishes, correct?
No. The leader of your diplomatic team will present one of the dishes to the judges.
I'll turn to Valak. You want to play rock, paper, scissors?
Sir, you did already appoint me to lead this mission.
Of course, and I said I'd jump in where necessary. Do you know anything about cuisine?
I am merely presenting said dish. It should give no trouble.
Or can you put a bit of emotion into it?
That would influence any sort of vote. We're simply presenting this for them to taste and decide their new leader.
You must add a bit of flair to it. I can see these people like a bit of flair, especially if cuisine is such a big part of their culture. You know, toss a few words here, sprinkle it with niceties and adjectives. You know how to do it, right?
I believe I can, sir, yes.
Would you like me to be there with you?
No, sir. This is actually quite a simple task.
We'll see how simple it is once you screw up diplomatic relations, Commander, and then you owe me a jug of blood wine.
Oh, come
Very
on,
well.
let Vlog do it. Vlog, it'll be fine.
Right, so our commander here will be the one doing the presentations. Whenever you are ready, gentlemen and gentlewomen.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
All right. So you are all brought into a sort of a backish room. And then after maybe another 15 minutes, a group of armed Tagasite guards come in. They are clearly keeping a close eye on a cart that is being pushed into the middle of the room by yet another armed Tagasite guard. And I think I named him Menk, turns to you and says, this is it. As you can see, great precautions have been taken to ensure that the cuisine has not been tampered with.
Indeed.
Again, flanked by the security officials, you will bring these dishes out and present them. You are, and he walks over and he says, do you have the introduction? And one of the security guards nods and he hands over a small data pad and he says, this is all you should need to know about the dish being presented.
Thank you. I'll take the data pad and quickly look it over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yes, because I had to make this sound as dumb as possible, because you have to be the one to read these words.
Fun times. Interesting. Okay. I suppose I am ready then.
Very well. Menk turns to the rest of you. If you would all follow me back to the council chambers, we will watch the proceedings from there.
Right, of course. Crew, let's move out.
And I'll throw all of you. Oh God, so big.
Whoa, we're giants here.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
she said.
Yes, of course. I know, I'm working on it. And who am I missing? Doc Maselli, right. Okay. So you all take your seats again. This is very, very nice council chamber they got here. And a Tagasite carting in a metal cart comes in and he says, "I present to you the first dish. This is a Tonkarian fried rat with a henteso ganache." And he reaches into the cart and he pulls out plates of, it looks like these tiny little fillets of meat covered in some kind of a fabulous multicolor garnish. And he proceeds to walk over to the first judge, sits the plate down in front of him, then he walks back over, grabs another plate, brings it to the next judge, so on, so forth, on and on until all of the judges are have their plates, and then they all look to each other, they press a button next to them, and they begin to eat. And so it goes for about 4 minutes. They clean every last morsel off their plate.
Yep, they're foodies.
Yeah, one of them takes a picture for Instagram. No.
Oh no.
Nope. Although, let's be honest, this is the culture that would do that. Like, this is
yeah.
this is
We're the culture that does that. Come on.
they are literally the Instagram culture.
Mm.
So they leave, and again, it's like that. It goes on like that for the next person brings in a what could most accurately to you guys be described as some kind of a sandwich.
All right.
But you don't recognize any of the listed off ingredients. But I mean, that's what it looks like to you guys. That weird pink paste coming out of the side is ominous, but whatever.
Okay.
This one's presented by, this one actually is presented by the Talarian. They all, good. Vlog, you're up.
I present a lummock onion encrusted perryfish over glurk egg pasta, coated in blue gribble sauce. I'll just gradually present this to each dignitary here.
do. They press the button, and they all begin to eat. Assuming just like, would you get a peer over to your crew at all, or?
Oh no, it's just stone faced.
Of course. This guy starts coughing. And he falls out of his seat.
Doctor.
The security guards start running over to him.
I will get up and hesitantly start to approach. I don't know how diplomatically ethical it is for me to help him here.
Screw ethics, you're a doctor.
I was gonna say, come on.
Is this a good one?
Do the security guards let me approach him?
Stay back.
I'm a doctor. I can help him.
You are a trained medical professional?
Yes.
We will be watching.
Okay.
And one of them steps aside for you to take a look.
I'll flip out my tricorder and begin to scan him.
All right.
Does somebody else mind rolling for me? Because my Ethernet cable appears to have broken or something, because my computer has lost internet access.
Oof. Yeah. Give me, so someone roll for her. Give me insight medicine. I'm gonna make this difficulty of 3. I'm spending 2 threat to make it that way, but, it would have been difficulty 1, but you're dealing with an unfamiliar species.
So xenobiology.
Yep. Totally.
All right. Do I have a momentum to spend?
Yep. So let's do that too.
And then 1 momentum should be fine, because I'll be able to re-roll anything that's bad.
Oh, yep. You got cautious. All right.
You generated a momentum.
Awesome.
I will send you the information.
Awesome.
Might be a different species, but...
All right, this man appears to be in anaphylactic shock. I need to treat him immediately or he will die.
Anaphylactic shock. What could he have... And, as you're starting to... I assume you're getting ready to treat him. You do have your med kit on you.
Cool.
I assume mixing together some sort of antigen to the allergen.
That'll be $300.
Oof.
Yeah, so you need to add 2 more zeros onto that.
And as you're doing that, one of the Talarians stands up and he points at you, Volok. He says, "Him! He must have done it!"
Hey.
And a couple of the guards start to move in on Volok.
And Kiji's gonna stand up and kind of put his hand on the phaser, like, "Whoa there, let's keep it civil, shall we?" As I kind of give a little pat on the top of the phaser.
Chief Kiji, that will not be necessary. I'm sure we can go through their system. They'll quickly understand that I have done nothing wrong to this dish.
Very well, but I will be escorting with you wherever they take you.
Jueza, can you give me a presence command difficulty 2 check?
Yep.
And I'm gonna spend 2 threat to increase the complication range by 1.
Of course you are.
You do have momentum if you'd like it.
Command. I'm gonna need 3 momentum because I have a 1 in command and an 8 in presence. So this is a 9.
Just roll well. Simple.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
Well,
Boy.
that's
So there's a
wouldn't-
complication now that we cannot get rid
Determination.
of.
I was gonna say, do you want to spend a determination?
Nah, what's the worst that could happen?
We all die.
I assume the worst that happens is you two get arrested permanently.
Oh boy.
Oh, I can take him. Should have brought my rifle.
I'm afraid we cannot allow that. Per our system of justice, an assassination attempt has been made on a council member. Any suspects to the matter, any suspects must be privately detained until a full investigation can be carried out.
And Kiji's gonna kind of just look over to Vlach to kind of get a read on what he wants to do.
Nope, we're going for it. Prime directive, Kiji. Prime directive. This is their system.
I am inclined to agree with the commander on this one, Chief. If they want our help, we will be more than welcome to give it. But for now, we are merely spectators.
Yes, but they're taking our personnel into custody.
And for now, we must allow it.
And Kiji will move his hand away from his phaser and say, yes, for now.
Patience come to the good things come to those who wait, Chief.
Okay, to that end, Dr. Maselli.
Yep, I am back online.
Yeah, oh great. Just in time.
Mhm.
You need to make me a control medicine difficulty 2 check to give this guy essentially the Star Trek equivalent of epinephrine.
Right. Does emergency medicine apply?
Oh, absolutely. This guy is suffocating.
All right. Control medicine. You said difficulty 2? We have 1 momentum. I am going to spend that and hope for the best.
Okay.
I regenerate that momentum back.
You gonna re-roll the 0?
Yeah, I might as well.
Gamble. Let's do it. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As you press the hyperspray into him, I am going to spend 2 threat, however, and say that there is the slight complication of, well, it is an unfamiliar species, so while this has alleviated the anaphylactic shock, he's probably going to be out for a while. As a secondary effect of the medication you have given him has essentially acted as an anesthetic. Which might be for the best anyway, because he'd probably be in quite a bit of pain afterwards.
Yeah, Teresa will stand up from kneeling beside him and speak to both the captain and the security guards when she says, he should be fine. However, he will be under for the next several hours. However, the anaphylactic shock should be over, or it should be treated.
Understood.
That's good. Good job, Doctor.
Medical transport is currently en route.
She shakes her head. I don't know how this could have happened. I thought you kept a record of allergies.
We do.
Do you not have pre-food tasters?
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Well, pre-food tasters.
Taste
Sorry.
testers, yeah.
I
Taste
meant
testers,
like,
yeah.
I meant, do you not have any way to scan the food for allergens?
We do not doubt the capabilities of the candidates, and as such, it is disrespectful for the food to be eaten before it reaches the council members.
Perhaps it
Okay.
was some sort of hidden allergy that the councilman didn't know about. For instance, I am allergic to bananas, but I hadn't known that I was allergic to kiwi as well. And when I ate a kiwi, I puffed up. Also had an anaphylactic shock. But maybe he didn't know it.
Hang on, Captain, I want you to write down on your character sheet under traits, allergic to banana and kiwi.
Fun fact is,
allergic to kiwis?
I'm actually allergic to bananas and kiwis.
If are you establishing that as a part of your character?
Might as well be. Shit.
Oh, you're in trouble. That's gonna come down to bite you in the butt sometime.
Do you require our assistance in your investigation?
Give me a presence command difficulty 3 check.
Holy God. Can I say that instead of her?
Yeah, that might be a better idea.
I don't
You
know.
realize it will aid you, and we will find the culprit quicker if you let us aid you in your investigation. We have resources that you may or may not have, or insight that you may or may not have.
Okay, Jacoby, you can make the roll on the Sully. Because you started that off, you can assist.
Okay.
Take a threat. Does my focus in diplomacy work?
Yes,
Or
absolutely.
negotiation.
This is
Yeah,
a
okay.
diplomatic nightmare.
There, we got a 4.
Great. You generated momentum. As they said, you can observe the investigation for now. However, if we begin to feel that you are interfering in any way, you will be forcibly ejected, and we can only begin to assume the worst of your compatriot.
Oh, trust me, we want to resolve this as quickly as you do.
Very well. And the Talarian captain walks over and he says, I wouldn't listen to a word they're saying.
What do you mean?
What, you Starfleet officers just waltz in and immediately afterwards something horrible happens? Why am I not surprised?
And who planted the seeds of doubt in your mind, Captain?
The seeds of doubt?
Well, surely you didn't come here harboring such bad intentions against the Federation yourself, did you?
I came here to do my diplomatic duty, Captain.
And does your diplomatic duty also include insulting foreign diplomatic officers, Captain?
Ooh, give me a... actually, you know what? We're gonna do something that I haven't really done before.
I don't like the sound of that.
Hang on. Conflict. Let me find it. There's a neat mechanic that I've never used.
Does it involve punching him in the jaw?
Where is it? It's on page 164. 164. 169. Oh, great! It's really taking its time loading now. Here we go. Jacoby, you are now in social conflict.
Ooh, we're doing
I
that.
live for social conflict. Let's do this.
Hang on. Just gotta quickly decide how this is gonna work. I gotta quickly decide. How would you say you're going about this? Would you say this is more intimidation or negotiation?
This is more intimidation, obviously.
Great. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be an opposed task. I'm gonna say, because you're both captains, you're both on equal footing in that regard. So there's no, if say this guy wasn't a captain or you weren't a captain, you'd be in a lesser position, because you'd be arguing to someone who's above you, who's in a position of power above you, as opposed to this guy who's essentially on your level.
Mm-hmm.
Get on my level, bro.
Get on my level, bro. This is an Alpha Quadrant guy,
He
so
did.
I just gotta quickly pull up the Alpha Quadrant book so that I can find the stats for this guy. Because I'm pretty sure there are stats for Talarians in this. For like a Talarian dude. Let's see what we got. In this case, I'm going to say this is probably going to be Daring Command.
Okay. I'm going to take 2 momentum. Actually, I'm going to give you a threat and give you and take 2 momentum for 4 dice.
Okay.
Will any of my focuses apply here?
I'm not going to allow negotiations specifically because you said you were doing intimidation, not negotiation. Because those are
Hazard
two
awareness might help.
Because those are two different things in the social conflict tree.
Like I said, hazard awareness might help.
No.
Okay.
These fellows have reticulating spleens.
Hilarious.
I got a 5, and I'm going to re-roll that 1.
You got 5 successes?
I got a 6. 6 successes.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Give
Get
me
wrecked.
a minute while I figure out the stats I'm gonna use. Wait, really?
It's raw.
Oh, god damn it.
Raw.
God damn, they don't actually have stats for Talarian captains. That is dumb. I'm gonna spend 3 threat to give him 2 extra dice. See where this gets him. Oh my god. You said you got 6 successes?
Yep.
You beat him by
Wow.
1.
Holy
Got
crap.
him.
Okay.
So you gain momentum. Roll 7 challenge dice. That is enough to cause a quote-unquote social injury as the Talarian captain backs down, realizing that he's essentially in no higher position to make diplomatic demands than you are right now.
I'd remember who you're speaking to, Captain, and mind your manners.
Oh boy.
As I will twirl my coat behind me and walk off.
We're doing great, guys. Doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing just splendid.
Oh,
What are
dear.
the Talarians gonna do? They're technologically inferior to us.
That is correct. They are technologically inferior to you guys, but on the diplomatic stage, it's difficult because
By default, you basically just did like the supervillain. You can't prove any.
yeah,
I
except
remember who you're talking to, boy. Come.
yeah. So the thing here, Captain, that you've reasoned out is that the big problem is that the Talarians have known them longer.
Doesn't matter. They're still making very outrageous presumptions of one of the, well, biggest powers in the galaxy.
Oh yes, it's more so they are technologically inferior, but they have a diplomatic advantage.
Of course, right. But let me put it to you this way: we have a big dick, and we're gonna swing it around
Oh my
because
God.
we can.
Oh my God.
Does that bring it closer to you?
Initiate helicopter maneuver.
Captain,
Big
Right on
dick,
the
huh?
lips, Captain.
Captain.
I think his point is that won't work.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
it's not.
it's not so much that it won't work. It's just take care.
Of course, but do I have to say it again? We have a large phallus, and we are going to swing it because we are the
Okay,
United
so-
Federation of Planets,
Okay,
and
so so what are you guys going to do now? Because you guys just left the
yeah,
council.
let me give some orders. Chief, Doctor, I want you to go ahead and observe the investigation process. If they screw anything up, try and see if you can gently nudge them in the right direction. Obviously, we don't know what happened either, but we may have a clue as to what may be going on. If you can, try and sneak around and get some clues of your own. We'll try and present them in our own way if we can. But do your best to aid the investigation. But
Yes,
then
sir.
Rugan, Commander Vlok, start sneaking about. See what you can find.
I'm not going
Rugan?
anywhere, dude.
Oh, you are under arrest,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Guys, Valak isn't even with you. He's been escorted off. Remember?
Right.
That was
Rugan?
that was the
Indeed. Aye, sir.
We are planning a jailbreak for my
Aye,
first
sir.
officer.
Oh,
Are
crap.
you kidding?
Diplomatic jailbreak. It's gonna be fine.
Oh my
Well, sir,
God.
if things don't go well, is General Order 24 authorized?
You mean bring the phaser rifle and arm every damn crewman with it?
Oh my God.
Well, no. We're gonna try and keep this peaceful for the time being. However, we're going to try and convince the council, myself and Rugan, that our first officer is just a silly Vulcan and he should be let go. And we'll invoke some clauses, international, intergalactic accords and all that, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you have your orders. Let's get to work.
Okay. So what are you going? So who's gonna do what first?
So Jueza and the doctor will do their investigation first, jailbreak second.
Oh dear.
Actually, can you do jailbreak first as I have to feed my dogs?
Jailbreak first, then. Good God! All right. Right. So let's get to the round table. Let's try and plan this out. Rugan, does Commander Vlok still have his transporter signal on him? Do we have his comm badge locked on? Maybe.
I'm sorry, I need like 2 minutes. I'm in a bad spot.
You could
Yeah.
call up to the ship as well. See?
Yes, Bridge. This is the captain. Come in, Bridge. Bridge, please. We are desperate, Bridge.
Acting captain.
Acting Captain Tizonin. Oh God.
Yes. The ship is mine now.
Right. Do you still have? Can you check on your console? Do you still have Commander Vlog's transporter signature?
Let me check. Do I?
Give me a controls. Hang on. Give me a reason security difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's sensors security, which brings it down to 1.
We will activate our crewman, Arth, for this one, I think. Is that okay, Zone? Oh, you've gone ahead and did it. Hey, you got it. Oh,
And the ship's sensors security?
coming up.
Don't need to activate anybody. I am the cavalry.
You generated a momentum, and the answer currently is yes.
Okay. In case we need it, can you transport Commander Valak out of jail?
Yeah. I mean, I could try.
Well, I mean, obviously let Biss do it, but it's doable, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Captain Jacoby out. Good luck, acting captain. Right, Rugan. He's not here. Shit. I'll go on my own, and he'll follow behind me.
Rugan has just returned, sir.
Good. There you are. What's the plan?
Sorry, sir.
We
They
can
had lost my
technically
pizza.
transport him out. We can technically transport him out of there, but that may not be the wisest choice.
Indeed,
So
sir.
let's try and approach this another way.
It may be. Indeed, sir. I feel it would be best to do our best to resolve this diplomatically if possible, but it would be probably best to have a plan B.
What would Captain Kirk do?
Oh no.
No.
Seduce his wife, likely.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I must admit I do not have a thing for these fish people, but
Indeed,
Racist.
what I believe he would do, sir, is I believe he would endeavor to put the Federation's best foot forward.
if Kirk was here right now, I bet he'd kick an ass or two.
That's what Captain Kirk would do.
That is true. But let's not try to be Captain Kirk right now. Let's just go and speak to the jailer. See if we can't get him free, shall we?
That might be wise, sir. At the very least, we may be able to negotiate some time to speak with him. Have we any...
Right.
I believe our replicators might be able to create some flavors that these guards may never have tasted.
Are you suggesting we induce an allergic attack in the guards?
Of course not, sir. I'm suggesting we bribe them.
Oh, interesting. Well, we'll see what the jailer's like, shall we? Let's go over there to the jail.
So yes, with some direction from Menk and under the supervision of a couple of armed armed escorts, you are brought to the sort of high security lockup that Valak is currently being held in. However, you are stopped at the gate by yet another two guards. It says, "Halt! What is your business?" And he looks you over. Says, "Aliens."
I wish to see my first officer, who is currently being held in jail.
Oh, you're with the new arrival, huh?
The new arrival, yes.
All right.
Although intergalactic accords dictate that you must address all prisoners by their full rank and name. So to you, he is Lieutenant Commander Valak, not the new arrival.
Give me a presence command difficulty 3 check.
Take a threat, and I will take 2 momentum.
Okay.
Get out of here.
How many momentum have you generated?
So that's 2, 4, 6, 7. I have generated 4 momentum. We have capped out.
How much do you have floating?
We have if 4. No. 2.
2. If you spend that 2, I'll let you create the advantage, and you'll just be let in.
Yes. And he must address him by his full rank
Oh yeah.
and name.
Oh yeah. It says, yeah. Okay. Look, I see it right here. All right, Captain Jacoby. If you'll follow me.
Of course.
And he leads you through, again, very high security area, to a room where, Valak is currently sitting there. He doesn't look like he's being mistreated at all, but he's in just sort of a bog standard cell, table, nothing on it. And he says, Lieutenant Commander Valak, your representation is here.
Now look over to the guard. You may leave now. Thank you.
He says, of course, however, there will be a, however, we will be monitoring your meeting. There will be a security detail posted outside of this cell.
You may leave now.
Very well. And he turns around and leaves.
Commander, how do you do?
Captain, doing all right so far. What are you doing here?
Well, we're here to bust you out, buddy.
Captain, you know we cannot do that.
Oh, sure we can. The transporter room still has your signal. We could effectively beam you out of here whenever you want.
Well, now that you're looking at him, he's not wearing his comm badge.
Ah, they took your comm badge away.
Yes, Captain.
Well, that simply won't do, will it now? Do tell me what happened exactly, Commander.
As instructed, I presented the dishes to each of the representatives. As far as I know, there had been no tampering, but again, I had the briefest interaction with it.
You had no insight into the dishes themselves before they were presented? You had no eyes on them whatsoever? You haven't noticed anything strange?
I knew what I was to read off and what the dish was. That was what was.
Who gave you the script to read off of?
Mank and
It was a security officer.
The security officer with him had the why am I blanking on the name? The data pad with what was listed.
I see. What do you think might have caused the councilman to have an anaphylactic shock? Do you think it was an allergy, or was it something far worse?
That would have to be discussed with Dr. Pacelli.
Well, I've sent her and the chief to investigate or assist with the investigation as much as they can. However, I feel like we're being obstructed every turn. The Talarians, they're hostile, to say the least.
Well, Captain, given the war and our relations with them, it is feasible there might be some mistrust.
Oh, there was mistrust between us and the Romulans, and we managed to get past it together somewhat to unite against the common enemy. Yet these are small, and they have a thing called the Napoleon complex. They think they matter. No matter.
Napoleon complex, sir?
It's talk to Dr. Maselli. She'll explain.
Very well, sir. But you know, we've known the Romulans even longer than the Talarians, and yet
sure, and we hit each other's guts.
Only recently have we mended bridges. It took a threat to the entire quadrant.
And yet the Talarians cannot put aside a simple squabble to solve a possible murder.
It
Color me
was
surprised.
no simple squabble, sir.
Do you not think this is merely a political game?
That will be up to you, sir.
Because I'm the politician. Clearly. Any idea on how to get you out, Commander?
I'd suggest assisting with the investigation, and if you believe the Talarians might be involved, check in on them.
Nonsense, but you are a Starfleet officer. Holding you like this is just not right.
Sir, we must follow the Prime Directive.
The Prime Directive can go suck itself. You are a Starfleet officer currently being held in custody for no reason, no valid reason, and no suspicions whatsoever that they can pin you. Trust me, I took classes of law. I know this is bullshit.
Sir, you put me in charge of this mission. I did what was needed, and I will do what's needed. I will remain here.
That's your own funeral, Commander, but if it were up to me, I'd try and bail you out. Just give me the word. If anything, I can give you your comm badge back, or try and give you your comm badge back so we can communicate at least.
That is all right, sir.
I'll see if I can speak to the guard outside. Come on, Rugan. Let's go intimidate some more guards.
Aye, sir, at once.
All right. And with that, I think we'll cut back over to Maselli and Jueza. New scene. Lose a momentum. So Maselli, Jueza, what are you guys gonna do?
Looking for whoever the lead investigator of the case is.
Yes, I believe we're just going to be like an attaché to their investigation and follow them around and see what they can know. Because I think it would be a crime for us to try and investigate on our own.
You approach sort of the head of security for this contingent. This room is swarming with security personnel now. After an attempted assassination on a council member, yeah, there are security people all over the place. Each council member has at least half a dozen people surrounding them. But you've managed to single out the one who's most likely the head of it. Additionally, the Talarians are still there. They also have a security team surrounding them.
Here, before we arrive, Rugan would like to say to the doctor, Doctor, I do believe it may be wise at the same time to consider that there is indeed a possibly benign explanation, a medical one at that. If at all possible, keep that in mind when you are doing your work. It would be, if there is indeed some sort of unknown allergy or some sort of something manifested, as it were.
Yeah, that is a good point, Lieutenant. For all we know, it could have been anything. I will keep that in mind. I won't jump to conclusions until we have more evidence. And with that, and with that, I think me and Jueza will flag down the chief security officer or investigator or whoever.
You're those Federation types, right? I don't like that I'm being made to work with you. I'm going to be blunt about that. But, well, considering the delicate diplomatic situation, I guess it's only right to extend you the courtesy.
Most kind of you. Now, what have you found so far?
I just want to specify before we begin. we will be nothing but neutral aid to your investigation. I don't know about what you've heard about Starfleet officers, but I would like to think that we are moral and good people, and that we'll be able to help you here.
Time will tell.
All right.
Now, if you were to ask me what we found out so far, I'd have to compile a 20-page paper for you. Could you possibly be a little more specific?
How about the highlights regarding anything that's connected to our officer that you currently are imprisoning?
Him. Well, after a search of him, we found a communications device which was promptly confiscated. If he is released, of course, it'll be returned to him. Did any of you come down with weapons?
I did.
Yeah, I think probably only he would.
Yeah.
I have a defensive weapon on me.
Yeah. I'm more so asking for the purposes of Valak. Did Valak have his phaser on him?
If we're diplomatic, no.
Okay, then no, they didn't find a phaser on him. Alrighty. And
have you been able to find this councilman's medical records? Is there anything in there to indicate that he might have had some sort of condition that was not otherwise or anything like that?
Oh, it's rather well known, his allergy. Demon flower.
Oh.
Yeah, you remember Menk mentioning that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Was the dish in question scanned afterwards? Was that substance found?
Yes, traces of it were found in the sauce.
Yes. Has the chef that prepared this been scanned to see if he had any traces of this material on him?
No traces were found in his on his person or in the kitchen.
So you have you have identified the chef that did this.
Yes, we. Again, the dishes are. Hang on. The dishes are all. The identity of the chefs who've prepared the dishes are kept secret. However, a highly encrypted data file does contain the names to be decrypted once the selection has been made.
Is there a possession log of this dish from the point of where it left the chef's hands to the point that it was delivered to the candidate or the judge, rather?
I believe I can make such a file available to you.
That would be very helpful.
Now, I think it's worth noting to you that traces of the flour were found on your compatriot.
Well, of course, it was in the dish. If it was already in the dish and he picked it up, it would stand to reason that he would have the traces on him.
That remains to be seen.
The real question is if we backlog, how far back can we find traces? The first person in that log who shows traces is probably the person who put it in.
But besides, Lieutenant Commander Valak has only been on this planet once as of today, and his entire trip has been documented. He's either been in public or with us and our guide Menk. So there was no point in which he was out of all of our eyesight to go and get these flowers or meet with a accomplice. There's no way he could have sabotaged this.
That remains to be seen. We are currently looking into possible avenues that may have opened up during the half an hour after you you left him with the dish. Or, sorry, 10 minutes after you left him alone with the dish.
There was no security guard with him during that time?
There were, however, he was the closest to the cart at the time.
Tell me, sir, what would be his motive for this?
Motive is currently unknown at this time. However, we know very little about, and he looks the two of you over, and he says, "We know very little of your Starfleet's agenda, so nothing can be ruled out currently." And there's a little bit of disdain behind that.
Yes.
Well, the councilman that was poisoned, do they have isolationist or expansionist or openly friendly policies?
Well, he's an interesting sort. He's rather neutral in most matters. One of the only things that he's really opinionated on is trade with the Talarians.
Which he is for or against?
For. The Talarians have been fine trade partners over the past 3 decades.
Who would be against trade with the Talarians?
There are members of the council who think that there are a few members of the council who think that moving trade priorities from the Talaxians to the emerging relationship with the Federation would be in our preferred long-term interests. However, that is currently only a fringe. That's currently only a fringe movement, given how new our interactions with you are.
I would be most interested to get a list of the people who are on that fringe, as you say.
I'm afraid that is private council business. I'm not allowed to divulge that. In fact, telling you that much is something of a breach.
Well, you've already breached. May as well give me the rest.
I'm going to spend 2 threat. I'm going to say, I'm afraid not. And again, I must consider all of you somewhat possible suspects in this matter. I ask that you do not push your luck.
Now, out of character, the Federation is Starfleet is substantially more advanced in this culture, correct?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Way more advanced. The problem is that the big problem is that you guys don't border them.
Mm-hmm.
The Talarians do.
All right. Have you received an update? Excuse me. Have you received an update on the council condition?
Currently, he's stable yet unconscious. His allergy is nothing to sneeze at. Pardon the expression. Actually, wait, no, he wouldn't say nothing to sneeze at because they don't have noses.
Oh. Well, what will happen now? How will voting be decided when this has happened?
The decision will have to be delayed. The remaining council members will decide upon a future date that the decision will be held upon, and the chefs will have to remake their meals again.
And the chef who made dish. Is he saying that he not make the dish, or that he not put the flour on his sauce? That's sabotaged it.
Oh yes, he was quite aware of the council member's allergy and swears up and down that he did not he did not taint the council member's dish. However, I must remind you that no traces of the flour were found on him or anywhere in his kitchen.
Okay, and what is his stance on? See,
Could you repeat that again?
what is his stance? The chef's stance on foreign policy.
Well, I suppose I can tell you that much since it's fairly public record. He's not super fond of you Federation types. But, well, not like he had any choice in who was gonna deliver his meal. Totally random.
Okay.
He didn't know who was gonna be delivering it. If you think that this was a frame-up job.
I was just guessing, sir. Have you talked to the other officers who were with Fullock for those 10 minutes?
Yes, they are. We are taking all of their depositions right now.
Okay, well,
Things are still
Chief,
quite hectic.
well, Chief, I think you'd agree we'd love to hear that.
I will, of course, want to talk to them as well.
I suppose that could be arranged.
Now, sir, I have to ask you something here. Let's say, hypothetically, that Vlok did it. He assassinated your person. What is the
Attempted.
penalty for that?
Attempted assassination on a council member? Well, that'd be capital punishment. That's treason.
And what is your capital punishment right now?
That would be death.
Capital punishment means execution.
However, treason is the only crime to which carries such a sentence.
It's a barbaric practice.
We in the Federation do not have a capital penalty.
We would be inclined to agree, except where it applies to matters of the government.
Oh yeah, of course. Except when you consider, even if you're right 999 out of 1,000 times, you will still eventually wind up killing an innocent person. Unacceptable.
Remember where you are, Starfleet. This is not your Federation halls. You are in our land under our laws, and we ask for you to respect them.
Out of curiosity, do you know our laws?
I'm afraid we do not. However, such a matter right now is moot.
Yes, but let me ask you something. How well do you think that you would do against Starfleet?
Is that a threat?
Whoa.
Not a threat, simply hypothetical situation.
Kiji, that's not a good idea.
Doctor, one moment, please.
No, Kiji. We are friends here. We're not going to get into arguments or fights or threats with each other because we're all friends here who all want, we all want the same thing. The truth
Doctor,
about...
this goes towards motive for Lieutenant Fullock.
How is threatening the investigator going to help his case in any way?
The point is it would be academic for him to go through all this. If we really wanted him to die, it would be much easier to simply send a photon torpedo down. Job would be done. Or we could simply beam him into space. There's no need for such a public and such a obvious connection to the commander.
Actually, he's not wrong. He does bring up good points.
So your argument is, given how technologically advanced the Federation is, why use such a lowbrow method?
Why do such a method that could leave our persons so vulnerable to your assets to possibly have him executed for said crime, whereas we could find many other ways to accomplish the same goal without him ever being suspected or put into any jeopardy whatsoever?
I want you to give me a Presence Command difficulty 2 check.
Can I assist?
Sure. And this will create
Thank
an
God,
advantage
'cause-
for
So,
later.
yeah, we have some momentum.
Yeah,
alright.
I'll
Have-
take momentum.
What is
No,
your
have
presence command?
have 3 momentum.
Okay. It's a 9. It's absolutely horrendous. It's
Your presence command is a 9.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
that's the second lowest possible score in the game.
could I take the lead then? Because my presence command is a 12.
because Joue's
Security officer.
well, no, because Joue's is the one sort of spearheading this line of reasoning.
Okay.
Can I use a determination, either brimming with confidence or freedom fighter?
I'll let Freedom Fighter pass.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
Juesa was in the Bajoran Underground.
Yeah. Well, you did wait. What? Wait a second. Hang on. How many dice did you buy and using what?
I was giving
Oh, that's
momentum,
right.
but
it's
then he
determination. So
because he used the determination to take how much more?
Yeah, that would take 5 momentum to buy.
Which we
Okay, so
had.
that would-
4
so-
dice.
Huh?
He rolled
So
4.
that'd be the
You start
last
with
2.
2, and then he got 2
But-
from 3
Yeah,
momentum.
because technically using
No. He using the determination adds a dice, which would mean it cost even more for every extra die.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it costs 5, but you would get 2 back because Maselli rolled a 1. So you get
okay.
so you're at 2 momentum now.
all right, so it works out.
Oh, cool.
and-
So yeah, it's
and
just
roll your veteran. Nope.
So I get it back.
And he says, "Well, you do have something of a point. We'll take that under advisement as well."
Yeah, if the Federation really wanted someone gone, it would be Section 31's job, not the chief engineer of the USS Hadfield.
Come on, guys. If we was gonna kill him, we would kill him real good. This is
Yeah.
amateur hour.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Look, it's defense by way of bragging. I think it fits.
Beautiful.
Um,
Now, is there anything else you want to know?
I assume that
Wings dinner.
our
Yeah.
officer will not be harmed for the time being until there is a trial.
Oh, of course not. We do believe in due process.
We are new here. I have no idea what you believe. So you will have to spell out very clearly what your plans are for our officer and what the trial will entail.
In this particular case, given the grave nature of it, this will require a trial by the council.
I see.
I'm not sure what else we can do here, like out of character.
And now is the trial more like where we present evidence, or is there some ritual involved, or
Yes, this is a trial to prove the facts.
Okay, so you are
all right, so but he doesn't have to cook anything to show his innocence or anything like that. So I don't think he cooks.
We highly value our culinary capabilities in this society, but we don't put it above objective truths.
Very good. Apparently he does brew, though. All right. So with that, I assume he gave me the list of basically who had the food from chef on down.
Yep. Essentially, the way it goes is chef prepared it in his kitchen, put it in that cart. The security officers took possession of the cart, wheeled it down down a corridor into an elevator, down 3 floors, down another corridor where it met you guys, and was given into essentially Volok's possession. The rest of you left. Then from there, it went down another 2 corridors to the council chamber that you're in right now.
Very well. I'd like to, one, find the cart that was used to transport it, and also find the guards that accompanied said cart.
All right, they are in 2 separate places. The guards are currently in the middle of being thoroughly questioned about what they saw, what happened.
Okay, then I'm going to go for the cart since they seem to be rather occupied at the moment.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys want to do with the cart?
I will have the doctor scan the cart for 1, any tampering, hidden compartments, and 2, for trace residue of whatever that substance is that made him sick. The flour, yes. And we'll go from there.
all right.
Okay.
What would I roll? So what should I roll?
I want you, whoever wants to make this roll, give me an insight security or insight science roll, difficulty of 2.
All right, I got it. Does research apply here?
No.
Okay. Teresa, what is your insight security?
13.
Okay, so do you have a focus that applies here?
Doubtful. Only maybe survival or interrogation.
Nope.
No,
I don't think so.
All right, I guess I'll just try and make I will spend 1 momentum to get an extra die and hope for the best.
And you do it.
Oh, nice.
As Marcella, you're going over it with your tricorder. The thing that sort of sticks out to you that you think of is it's one of those, you detect trace water vapor along the top of off of some of the because this is a cart with racks in it that each individual dish is put on, and you detect some water vapor along one of the tops of one of the racks, which would make sense if it were for steaming food being in there. But then you remember, wait a second though, those plates were covered. Why is there water vapor? And then you look in and you see why would there be traces of water in there? And then you see where those traces of water is, you see a little piece of, like, it looks like an adhesive.
Huh. All right. I will investigate the adhesive further while motioning to it for Joesa. There's some sort of adhesive here that shouldn't be here. This doesn't make any sense.
Perhaps something was attached there. Perhaps.
Perhaps we should flag. We should get a. I'm sorry. What's the name of the alien species?
I just had it.
Tagosian.
Yeah, Tagosian. Tagasite.
Tagasite. Perhaps we should get a Tagasite officer to watch us to make sure, so that they can't accuse us of tampering with this cart.
Of course, but make sure you get your readings first, and then we'll have them.
Well, I'm just saying, just have someone else. Because look, I found this strange adhesive here on the cart.
Yep. So I will. Well, both me and the doctor will go and get someone. Well, actually, no. We'll leave. I'll stay with the cart and have the doctor go get someone so that I can make sure that nobody tampers with or tries to clean up the evidence.
Makes sense.
So I guess you are both going to go over to a Tagasite officer.
Yep.
Well, no, I'm staying with the cart. She's going to the officer.
Okay.
Basically, I'm kind of watching it to make sure that nobody messes with it.
And you are sort of being watched from afar, and they've seen that you haven't touched the cart yet. Giving you guys that benefit.
Okay.
So it says, "What do you need, Starfleet?"
We were just investigating the food cart, and I thought it might be wise to have someone have one of you watch us. That way, there's no accusations of tampering later on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna make this any difficult for you. So, he just says, "All right, understood. I'll be right with you." And he follows you over to the cart.
Cool.
And he has a close eye on you.
All right. So, looking back at the thing, is there any obvious explanation for what the adhesive could be for?
Give me a reason science difficulty 3 check.
Okay. Does a focus in research apply here?
I'll let you have it at increased complication.
Or a focus in chemistry?
Chemistry. I will let without an increase in focus. That's absolutely a focus that applies here.
Awesome. All right, so you said reason science difficulty 3?
Yep.
Okay. It's 14. And I will spend 1 momentum. Pretty sure. Oof.
You have a determination?
I don't really think so.
I'd allow always a new thing to discover.
To re-roll the 0?
Yeah, to re-roll the complication.
All right.
Oof.
Well, that's better.
So I will actually let you succeed at cost with this.
Okay.
Meaning I will get 2 threat. I'm just gonna take the 2 threat.
All right, that's fair.
Because I'm super low. From what you can gather, this adhesive is designed to be able to adhere to a liquid, some kind of soluble liquid, and then release when properly heated.
Chief, looking over this adhesive, it seems like it's designed to I'm sorry, could you repeat that? It's designed to hold on to something and then release when properly heated?
Yep.
I think it's possible that someone sabotaged this by somehow knowing that like somehow abusing the fact that the cart that the plates for the food would naturally be hot, which would allow them to melt the adhesive that would drop the poison onto it. I don't know, that's just a guess.
Are we able to determine at what temperature is required to activate this adhesive? Like, are we talking about like a torch, or just like somebody putting their hand over it would be enough heat?
You don't have any momentum to ask that question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So you don't know what it is, what temperature it would be. You just know that that's what breaks down the bonds of the it's one of those things is you don't know because the bonds of the adhesive have already been broken down. You just reckon that's what broke down the bonds of the adhesive. It got too hot.
And on the area where that adhesive is, are you finding particularly high concentrations of the wheat with your tricorder? Or is that another momentum question?
You mean the flour?
Give me insight science difficulty of 3.
Okay. And I will spend a threat to give you an extra die.
Awesome. I am going to spend it and 1 more threat to increase the complication range by 1.
Does chemistry still apply here?
Yes, chemistry still applies.
Cool. Oh man,
Oh, buddy.
that's really bad. They're gonna I don't know, accuse me of
destroyed
tampering
evidence.
with it. Yeah. I lit the cart on fire.
Hang on. So, so here's how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend that first complication, just get to, you see, except those are because I increased the complication range, so I have to make complications out of those. I know. So the first complication, you have no idea. You don't even know if there are traces of the flour in there at all.
Okay.
Second complication, the security officer comes over to you and he says, "All right, I think that's enough looking around. I can't clearly see what you're doing in there. I'm going to need you to step away from the cart."
Teresa will raise her hand, be like, okay, I'm perfectly willing to comply here. I'm sorry, Chief, I couldn't determine anything. We would have done better if we had Lieutenant Rugan.
Damn it, Doctor.
I'm sorry.
All right. So next, we should go and investigate the security officers who were in contact with said cart.
Yes, because you can absolutely narrow that down. Because, Jueza, give me reason security difficulty 2.
Okay, I'll give you a threat for a die.
Thank you.
Just can't roll it today.
Wow, you guys are just.
Wow.
You guys are doing terrible.
I am dead.
Oh my god.
Well, everyone moves up in rank.
Do you not
Except
have
the captain.
Do you not have bold security?
Nope.
Oh god. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'll let this also succeed at cost. I'm gonna take 2 threat.
Okay.
From what you've put together here, there are only a couple of there were a bunch of security officers who were around the cart, but only a couple that have ever had direct contact with it.
Okay. Those are the ones I would like to question, and then I will tell the doctor while I'm questioning, I want her to basically do a scan in the background, look for any kind of devices that might generate heat.
How about we go meet up with the captain and Rugan, and we get Rugan to do sciencey stuff, because I'm not rolling well with this. Because they're not doing anything, and this is my specialty.
Very well. We'll go grab Rugan.
Please.
All right, I will tap my communicator. Captain Jacoby, Lieutenant Rugan.
Hi, Doctor.
You and your escort are just now getting back to the I called it the culinarium.
We need your assistance with or the chief needs your assistance with a problem he's having. Sorry, my mind blanked. Needs your assistance with the investigation.
At once. Where am I needed?
What did you think, Chief?
If you would, meet me in, I don't know, the main hall here. Wherever.
At once.
Go ahead, Regan. I'll keep Commander Vlog here, some company in the cells.
Hi, sir. Continue making friends and influencing people.
Of course. I'm an influencer after all.
All right. Once me and Rugan reunite, I will basically inform him about the adhesive that is temperature sensitive, and that we're looking for someone who may or may not have some sort of heat generating device that could potentially cause the adhesive to break and
Well,
poison.
they wouldn't need anything like that. The heat from the food would do that. It sounds to Well, it sounds to me like the intent was that whatever was put inside there, no matter, even if the thing was covered, it still would the heat still would emanate through there.
That's our hypothesis, but I couldn't get a proper scan on it, so we don't know. Because I rolled 2 zeros, so we don't actually know what temperatures to melt the adhesive.
Perhaps you could walk over in that direction over there as I kind of give a little nudge towards the cart and give a little scan without raising any eyebrows of what you're doing to see what kind of concentrations you might find in the area of the adhesive as I kind of give you a description.
I will remind you, I am a Klingon. We are not the sneakiest species.
Oh, come now. I've seen a Klingon sneak with a Targ before into a camp without anyone even knowing that they were within 10 miles.
I am also a scientist.
I have every confidence in you, Rigon. Don't screw it up. Sir.
Alrighty then.
The way we've been rolling, who knows what's going to happen here?
God.
Entirely true. Alrighty then. Well, I suppose, let's see now. Perhaps if you were to create a distraction of some kind, that may also assist.
Of course. I'm very good at creating distractions.
Rugan feels it just like somebody walks over his grave.
And Kiji will start walking back over to the cart very plainly and bluntly, making sure that they see him.
Mm-hmm.
And what is their reaction to him approaching the cart again?
As long as you're not like getting up in it to like look inside it, they don't react. But the moment you try to like crouch down, get up in the cart, they try to pull you back. If you do.
So I will.
Here, keep in mind, we don't want to look more guilty with your distraction.
I will take my tricorder out and pretend like I'm going to scan the area that we were interested in before to basically try to elicit a reaction from them.
Okay, give me presence security difficulty 2 to create the advantage. I will spend 2 threat to increase the complication range by 1. And you do it. And they
right.
sort of push you aside and they say, okay, we're going to need to see what you've got on there. Make sure that you're not messing with any of the readings.
On here, you want to see on here, this is Federation technologies. I cannot allow you to take a look at this. Now, if you come right this way, we will talk to my commanding officer. What is your name?
Yap. Meanwhile, Rugan.
Meanwhile, Rugan is going to do his sneaky.
Okay, give me control security opposed, but you have advantage.
I'm not great at this, but I'm not terrible.
But you have an advantage, so it's more difficult for them to spot you.
May I use team dynamics because I'm working together with a teammate on this?
Yes.
Marvelous. Do we have any momentum I might swipe?
No.
I figured as such. Alright then, show me potato salad. I like that potato salad.
Nice.
You generate 2 momentum, as they didn't get a single success.
Awesome.
Get smickledorfed.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, and I agree with you.
Yeah, of course. The Klingon sneaking is the first time we rolled good this game.
Okay, yeah. Feel free to. What are you checking for?
Rugan is going to see if he can finish their work, see if he can figure out the composition of this thing, see if he can figure out if there's any traces of what it was being used to adhere to the whole 9 yards.
Okay, give me. It's the same check as before. Insight Science difficulty 3.
Insight Science.
Want to use any momentum?
Should I use one, Captain?
Yes.
Alright, I'll check one in. Can I use my focus on reverse engineering? Because I'm going over this thing, figuring out everything about it.
No.
Alright. Let's see now. Even though the exact thing I'm attempting to do is reverse engineer the origins of this chemical.
That's a real stretch.
That's a major stretch there.
That's fair. That's fair. There's your momentum back.
Okay. No, you don't get a momentum back because it was difficulty 3.
Well, there you go then.
But you got the answer though. Let me.
Even better.
Yeah, Joyce is just like kind of looking over their shoulders as you're doing this, as making sure I keep them very distracted.
Hang on.
You just start hearing comments like,
See how Regan's gonna get him his answers and get out.
I see how it is. It's because you're prejudiced against my nose. You don't have a nose, and my nose is crinkled. And that's why you're having issues with me doing the investigation. I will not stand for this prejudice against me.
And they just slowly usher you away.
Time to go, Lieutenant.
Rugan, what did you discover?
Hang on.
Pardon?
Oh, I was asking what you discovered, but he's sending it to you.
Yeah.
Indeed. Now let's see. I'm detecting trace amounts of the flour all around the inside of the container, with trace patterns indicating it's somewhat centralized around the adhesive. They've been flour bombed.
The what?
The adhesive does indeed seem to contain the flour.
Huh. So... So clearly, someone sabotaged this from the very beginning. All right, let's take this to the chief security officer and see if we can get a rundown of everyone who touched this platter in this cart. I assume we'll go after him.
Mm-hmm. So actually, as you approach the security officer, you notice that the rest of the council has re-entered, and the Talarians are back in their little space over here. But the hall isn't like totally empty. There are still security guards everywhere, walking around.
Okay. I still think we approach the guy.
Mm-hmm. What do you need?
Yes. What's your name again?
Clenk.
Clank. Right, Clank. We, Lieutenant Rugan and I believe we have discovered evidence that you'd like to see. And I'll show him my tricorder. We have, we found evidence of this adhesive that was on the tray used to carry the, and this adhesive seems to have had the flour baked into it, and this adhesive seems to have been under heat. This seems like the plausible way for the flour to have gotten into the food.
He crosses his arms and he says, "Well, sounds like that might be something that'll come to your advantage quite soon.
What is that supposed to mean?
I have, well, I suppose you could say, good news of a sort."
Mm-hmm.
The council has decided to hold a preliminary hearing of sorts. This is not a trial. It is, I suppose you could say, another chance for you to prove your case before it even gets that far.
Wonderful. This will be excellent.
This is the advantage that you guys created.
Oh, cool.
From that bit of reasoning earlier.
We greatly appreciate the Council's discretion in this matter, and their leniency, so to speak.
Understood. Understood. Attempted assassination is a serious crime, and for them to even allow you to investigate alongside us is a serious showing of diplomatic trust. We hope that you will not betray it.
Indeed, we wish for nothing more than to have the improved relationships with your people. As indeed, my species was once bitter enemies with the Federation. However, they were able to win us over and show us a better way of living, as it were. At least we feel it that way.
Exactly. And I think we both agree that if the truth comes out against Valak, we will stand by it. We care about the truth over anything else. Even though I would find it unlikely to kind of absurdity that Valak would poison one of your council.
Well, the council is about to convene, so if you could all take your positions. And for this purpose, Jacoby, you've been made aware. You've been apprised of the situation. You're already over there.
Good.
Figured that'd be sensical.
Is Joeza in a cell next to Valak right now, or?
No, you just got escorted away. You were being annoying.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were.
Yeah.
He didn't wind up with two crew members and break. That's always good.
Yep. So, Valak, you are escorted out right into the middle of the chamber, and one of the council members stands up. Lieutenant Commander Valak of Starfleet, you stand accused of attempted assassination in this preliminary hearing. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Very well. The council acknowledges your plea. Do you have a selected representative, or would you choose to represent yourself in this matter?
Yes, he does. Me.
Oh no.
Very well. Would the representation for the lieutenant commander make himself known to the
Captain Lawrence Jacoby of the USS Hadfield, representing United Federation of Planets.
Understood. The Security Council has made us aware of their findings so far. Given the nature of those involved, while the Talarians will not be permitted to represent the state in this case, we will allow for their occasional input, given the grave diplomatic nature of the situation. We know very little about you and your Federation, and we feel that receiving only your accounts of the Federation would be one-sided. As such, we may inquire with the Talarians from time to time. And I'm spending 2 threat to create that complication. Consider them another piece of evidence.
Very well.
Should you wish, you may begin to present your case, Captain.
Right. Well, before I go out of character, let's quickly reapprise me of everything that you guys found. You found an adhesive, which was bombed with the flour, right? And the flour is the thing that caused the allergy reaction.
Yes.
What
and
else?
the working theory is that the adhesive, which seems to melt under heat, that the adhesive was melted under the heat lather, which caused it to drip into food, which then caused it to poison the guy. That's all we know right now.
Do we think it's sabotage?
Yeah, it has to be because someone put the adhesive there. And the only possible suspects are whoever had access to the platters and the tray. However, it can't be Valak because not only does Valak not have a clear motive to do this, but people had eyes on Valak for pretty much the entire time he was there, and not once did he seem not once did he act in a way that would, not once did he seem like he was
Right, okay. And the councilman that got poisoned, right? What was his viewpoint on everything?
He was in favor of trade with the Talarians, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With the Talarians?
Yes.
Nothing else?
That's all we have so far.
Right, well, okay. I'll get up on the stage then, I guess. In what word do we describe such events which transpired this day? I have but one. It is called sabotage. You see, as my crew has found out during their investigations, there was an adhesive, and this adhesive was used to poison your council member. The adhesive melts under heat, which then dripped onto the platter and therefore poisoned your councilman. It couldn't have possibly been my first officer here, as he has, well, most of the time been with me. And besides, if you think about it logically, like his race does, he has no motive for it. What good would the Federation gain from poisoning a council member of a race that we are trying to make friends with? It is silly at the most.
Okay. We are going to do a... much as I'd like to do a social conflict roll, you guys got a lot of the info, so I'm just thinking you got the most important piece of evidence, so that I'm just thinking about how I want this difficulty to go. Actually, no. You know what? This is gonna be a social conflict. With that, so the council, one of the council members turns to you, Captain, says, "Very impressive. This lines up quite well with what the security teams have discovered. Security Chief, your thoughts on this matter?" And the security chief says, "With all due respect, even though we are not trying to, keep in mind that currently we are trying to prove that there is enough evidence to go forth with a trial. And as things stand, what the Lieutenant Commander's Council has found is not quite enough to exonerate him. The adhesive found could easily have been applied by Valak."
Could it have, though? Think about it logically, Chief, if you can. Commander Valak has arrived here with me, with clear instructions on what to read and what to do. He is under my direct orders, and I have known him for a very long time, and as an officer of Starfleet, he would never disobey a direct order, and I know that. Now, Security Chief, it seems to me that there are some other who speak for you. These thoughts of yours don't seem your own. Could it be that you were perhaps influenced?
So now we are in social conflict again. Yay!
Oh no.
You are going to make me a presence command roll run against the security chief's presence command roll. Roll, you have advantage, though, because of, hang on, you have advantage because of, the evidence you found. So,
Alright, so you're going to take 2 threat, and we're going to spend that momentum so I can get a 4th die.
Okay, I am also going to spend that 2 threat so I can gain a 4th die. Oh, God.
That's fine. Even with your failures, you failed more than I failed.
Yeah,
therefore.
yeah, you gain 2 momentum.
And we're gonna use that 2 momentum to immediately nullify that complication.
Oh, you don't have any...
Actually, no, I can re-roll that. I can re-roll that.
Say,
because
I thought you had a reroll.
There you go.
Marvelous.
Oh.
5.
Okay, roll 7 challenge dice.
I'm gonna spend the momentum to re-roll these 3 challenge dice. Good enough.
Much of what I have learned of your Starfleet comes from sources outside of you. I suppose it may have been a bit premature.
As I had thought. The words of the Tellarians, although possibly good-natured, are like poison dripping into your ears. Think not of what they tell you, but think instead what the evidence tells you. And the evidence clearly states that the Federation had nothing to do with this crime.
The Tellarian captain stands up and he says, "That is slander, Captain."
That is not slander, and that is fact. You and I had this conversation before the investigation began, and you have admitted to yourself you do not trust us, nor do you have any reason to. And I do not trust you, Captain, nor do I have any reason to. Now, if you wish to settle this some other way, there are ways to settle it. But we are all civilized, and we are here on a mission of peace, and peace it shall be for the time being until the poisoning of the councilmen is resolved. Captain, is that understood?
And one of the council members looks over to the Tellarian captain. He says, "Well, Captain Bramig, is that understood? I want you to give me we are going to do one more of these rolls. Give me presence command opposed by the Tellarian captain."
Take a threat and 2 momentum for a 4th die.
Did you say how much?
You take 1 threat, and I'm giving 2 momentum.
Okay, not enough for me to get. Okay.
That's a good roll.
Yeah, that's not bad.
2.
Yeah.
Here goes nothing. I'm gonna re-roll that. Oh, dear. I still made. I think we tied. Yeah, we tied, and I'm the attacker, but I got an ad 20.
Yeah, you do tie. Well, I gotta see. Does he have a focus for this? He doesn't.
Oh, so that 3 is actually a 1.
And that 2 is also a 1. Oh no.
So I win.
You win.
And you can use the spare to knock out the complication.
Yeah, you do get 2 momentum out of this.
And we'll use it to immediately knock out the complication.
Did you roll 2 20s in a row? Wow.
Yes, he did. If we were playing D&D, it'd be great.
Yeah,
and
totally.
The Tellarian captain, Captain Bramig, just through gritted teeth says, "Understood." And he sits down. And the council members all say, "We shall be back, and I believe we have heard all we need to in this matter. We shall return shortly." And the council members stand up and leave the room.
I'll return to the bench. Well, guys, how was that, huh?
And the two security officers bring Valak over to you.
Huh? How was that, Commander?
Adequately argued, sir.
Yes, adequately argued. I do so say myself that I could probably have been a lawyer for data as well. Maybe.
I thought you did a very good job, sir. I was worried that we weren't going to get him back, but you did it.
I am worried what the Talarians might do, though, sir. You might have just pushed us back farther in peace talks with them.
Well, it wasn't me who pushed us back farther in peace talks. It was their cap. He's the one feeding false information to the, to this planet, to this entire.
If I may, Captain, this could turn out to be an opportunity.
For?
If we were to show grace and victory, and speaking with the captain, again, appeal to his sense of loyalty to his own troops, and perhaps he may perhaps he may come to respect you more as an officer, and in that fashion, perhaps that may serve to even further our diplomatic relations.
Perhaps it may, but as I presume we will have to wait for peace talks to continue before I can make olive branches appear out of thin air.
Indeed, perhaps even waiting until after the meeting, or until after the hearing, as it were.
Perhaps.
Bad idea.
We will see if he is down for conversation, so to speak.
So the council members all walk in, and they motion to the back door. A door opens, and in walks a security officer, pulling he's not pulling a cart. He's pulling sort of like a table, and on it are a large number of plates that all seem to be covered, but it's like an open table. And they say, "The council has come to a decision on this matter. In this case, we have found that there is not sufficient evidence to go forth with a trial for the Starfleet Lieutenant Commander Valak. As such, we must find him innocent in regards to this matter. Investigations are still ongoing. However, results should be promising. In that matter, we consider this matter to be adjourned. We shall now partake in the Feast of Innocence." And the security officer takes a bunch of the covers off of the plates, and you see food of all sorts on this. It sort of hits you what it is now. It's a buffet table.
Oh, council members, if I may, to avoid incidents such as they happened previously, would you be so kind for the Talarian captain and myself to have the first honors?
Give me a presence command difficulty 2 to create that advantage.
Sure. Oh, roll 20 disconnected me. Let me. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna take a threat. You're just gonna take a threat.
Because
you're gonna take a threat.
You have a momentum though.
Yes, but I have bold, so you're gonna take a threat.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's not enough for me to do anything with.
Like, look, man, I'm willingly giving you threat. Oh no!
Oh no!
Do you have?
See why I kept?
Jesus,
see why...
what the hell?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
See that? I kept it. We're gonna spend the momentum to nullify that one bot.
Wow, you are you're a steely-eyed diplomat, man.
Damn right.
Okay. So they look at you and they say, I believe I believe, given the I believe after what we have put you and your people through, that can be arranged. Normally, we would be the first to partake, but I believe it would be in the interest of both of our cultures to show you our hospitality.
Yay, first dibs on the bunch.
What is the name of the Talarian captain again?
Bremig.
Captain Bremig. Would you come here with me so we may have the first bite?
The Talarian captain comes over to you. He has this dirty scowl on his face. And he says, I still don't trust you, Starfleet.
It's nothing personal, you understand, Captain. Just business. And I'll take a bite of whatever is on the table.
And the Talarian captain grumpily does the same. I want you to roll me a Presence Command opposed for the final social conflict of the night, and he'll spend a threat.
Oh, good God. I'll give you that threat back, and I'll give you 2 more for a 4th die.
Which he'll also spend to get a 4th die.
You roll first. Could be worse. Like that. Better. 3, 4.
That's better than what he got. Roll 7.
Gonna spend that momentum we have to reroll.
Nice.
Yeah.
And, well, he's very grumpy, but, well, and all of you as you partake in the meal can definitely say one thing. Your concern from earlier was not, was completely unfounded. This is delicious. This is like the gourmet of gourmets.
Great.
As you all partake, I like to think sort of that we get this nice closing shot of all of you standing around the table with all the council members happily partaking in a very nice meal. And I think that is a good place to end A Matter of Taste.
Hey, Rugan, can I do it
Hi,
now?
sir.
Can I do it?
Yes.
Da, 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 da.
So hang on, before
And then the
everyone
Hadfield takes off and leaves you.
so before everyone leaves, I need to make sure that everyone who spent a determination gets a milestone.
I didn't, so...
I did.
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
choice and Rosalie.
I never spent determinations.
Probably we should.
I don't know how.
Just speak up.
Okay,
So
that brings me up to 4.
Sorry that I sidelined you for the whole episode, Valak.
That's all right.
And Tizonin, but I mean, Tizonin got to be captain of the
I
ship,
chose
so...
it.
Yeah, you kind of did. I could have stayed on the ship, easy peasy.
Nice.
Yeah.